Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to our series of building tiny homes for scenarios. We are back with a tiny home build today and we are on to the unlucky chef scenario where we have to have one sim, young adult or older, who joins culinary career, and the scenario reads: a sim is certain their destiny is to become a world famous chef. There's just one little problem. This sim is way more likely than most people to accidentally start fires while cooking. Can you make it to the top of the culinary world, or will you go out in flames? And the possible story outcomes is that the sim becomes a world famous celebrity chef despite the danger, or becomes a celebrity mixologist, a safer choice. So that is where we are starting off today. Now this difficulty is hard, and I will tell you that the build actually wasn't too difficult, but making sure I had everything we needed definitely was. So I just randomized this one sim that popped up here with the lovely red hair and fabulous makeup, but I made her outfits a little bit more, I don't know, chef-like in my mind. And then I made her just a tiny bit more fit because I have worked a little bit in the culinary industry, and you get in shape if you're running around in the kitchen. Just throwing that out there. And I made ice cream, so that's saying something. Now, we are going to pick her traits. I think what I did was I picked neat, so she would clean up after herself, foodie, because that just makes sense, and I think I made her creative, and that is it. Her name is Jill Naylor, and now we are jumping right into our tiny home build. So here we are. I just wanted to make sure that this fit the city of San Myshuno, which is where I placed it on the old salt house lot, and it's really, really cute in the end, but I was making sure to keep an eye on our budget because this lot is a lot of simoleons. It's way more than I'm used to. I think it cost us like $9,000 just for the lot, and I was like, oh, okay, so that left me with about $11,000 to work with, and that is not much for a home that you're trying to make for a celebrity chef. However, I got around this in a way that I will show you once we get back into the kitchen. But here in the little tiny living space, I made just this little tiny TV corner. The TV is from the dumpster diving that you can either find it from dumpster diving or you can unlock it in Live Edit and Debug. And I picked that and the new console table or coffee table from the Basement Treasures kit because it just looks old and worn and it was pretty cheap. These windows here with the open slats are from Moschino stuff, and I really like that, and I think it complements this area pretty well because we are in the city and there's a lot of loft spaces. And over here we are combining the glass door that is base game with the tall window, which I think it's either Snow Escape or it's base game, one of those. I'm working a little bit faster here today because it's a shorter video. And here we have all black plumbing parts in the bathroom, and I think what I did was I went with just plain white tile for the bathroom walls, and I ended up going with a gray and white checkered floor. First I was kind of working through all the different patterns I could go for, but I did decide on the gray and white checker because I thought that added a little bit more interest. And here in the bedroom, I use this grungy wallpaper that I think is also from City Living, which makes sense because we're in San Myshuno. And I wanted to go with this blue color to complement the bedspread. And the little side table is from Tiny Living. I repeated the window again in the bedroom because I just had to. It was very, very pretty. I love those windows, and I don't get to use them that often. They don't always fit, but in here I thought they looked really nice. That rug there is also from Snowy Escape. And then over here we're making a little clothes rack to hang our clothes on instead of a dresser, just because I wanted to do something a little different, and this is a very small space. I didn't want to spend a whole lot of money on a skinny little dresser. So I figured give them a little bit of shelving, and that would act as like decoration space as well. I'm having a hard time talking today, I don't know why. And then over here I repeated with this bigger window from Moschino stuff, and I do end up moving the TV area over a little bit to right in front of that window, just because I think it looks really cute. But for now we're shuffling things around. I think I picked this fake stove here from Debug, so it is non-functional. I know what you're thinking. Well, why would you give her a non-functional stove? Because this sim is more likely to start fires, I'm just not even going to give her a stove at all. That will be completely up to you guys. If you download this home and you want to add a stove later and test your luck, that's totally fine. But if you have not seen it, James Turner did a couple videos on this scenario where he had his tester sim. He first did the scenario where he was just cooking like he would normally, and it was terrible. It looked so annoying to play that way. But he did that, and he did complete it, but it was rough. It was rough to watch. I can only imagine to play. And then the next time he did it, he actually had the sim not cook anything at all. They just raised their cooking skill and leveled up in the career without really ever having to cook, so they never started a fire. And I thought, well, that just makes sense. So that was the idea here. I gave her a non-functional stove for now and this little utility sink, which is perfect. I did give her a bar because it is a portable bar. It's the cheapest one in the game, and it is a portable bar, so you can remove it and have more space in the living area, which I thought was really cool. So the rest of this video, I'm pretty much just sparsely decorating. Not too much. There's a mirror with her clothes rack in the bedroom. There's no decoration in the bathroom at all except for the mirror. But I wouldn't count that decoration because that's like, you can use that for charisma skill. That's more like a skill building item in my opinion. And then in the living room, I think I threw in a few paintings later on, but first we're working on the roof. Now, there's a lot of decoration on this lot later on. I go in with debug and I make this lot kind of blend with the rest of San Myshuno, so I put in some like park benches that are debug and like street lights that are debug, 2 patio tables I think, and some chairs, and all of the landscaping is debug just to make it all kind of match. And that was my idea. Now, my thought with the wallpaper on the home is to keep it the same like block texture, and then that little bump out where her bedroom is, I decided to do siding. Like that was an addition later because the renter wanted to rent this out as a residential lot, this little house. So they added the little bump out room just for the bedroom, and that was it. I thought that made a lot of sense because, I don't know, it just seems more realistic. Here's some nice pathway I drew down with the terrain paint. Came out super cute. And mailboxes over there. And there's the sprinkler system. It's the fire prevention system, I think is what it's called. But if she does happen to start a fire somehow, if you get her a stove later on, then the sprinklers will go off when the smoke detector goes off. So that's handy. I thought that would be a nice little touch. And I threw in some minimal decoration. I did use some plants, like some spices over there behind the non-functional stove. That little plant that was in the corner before we made our way into the bedroom is actually from Snowy Escape Debug, so that was free. I had to. I knew I was looking for it. It was somewhere, and it took me a long time. I did find it. Those hanging plants, I think, are from Realm of Magic, and it made me think of like drying herbs, and maybe she would dry them in her room because they smell nice, and it's like a free air freshener for her. It's a win-win. And over here, we are adding our landscaping. I did that big old tree there in the back, and the 3 little trees to match the rest of them in the world. In that corner, and then I do 3 more trees in the front as well, in that little cluster of 3, because I think they just look really nice. But like I said, all the plants, all the shrubs are debug, and I wanted it to look almost like a park with just a house in the middle of it. I wanted it to blend in with San Myshuno and look really cute. So this is like, yes, this is her lot, but she also has, she shares it, she rents it, and then maybe the renter like works for the city. So when they had this lot and they were, giving permission to use it as a park, they said, well, I still want to make money off of this lot because I own it. So they commissioned to have the little bump out added for the bedroom, and that's why this lot almost looks like a park as well as a rental property. I don't know. That was my thought, and I thought it kind of made sense. I've rented quite a few places now in my life, so it seemed like a good possibility. That's all I'm going to say. But here we are. You'll see me just throwing down some more shrubs and trying to figure out what it was I was trying to do here. Because, these plants here on the side are debug also, and they're like the little trellis. They're like vines in pots, and I thought that was really cute, so I just hid the pots with more shrubs, and I thought this little section here came out really nice. It's just simple greenery. It's nothing too crazy in the back because you're not really going to see that anyway. And then over here to the side, I love this the flowering cherry tree, I think is what it's called. It's so pretty. I love the pink flowers, and there's a bunch of them all around the city because that's from the live edit and debug menu from City Living. So I figured that would be a really nice thing to add because it blends in really, really nicely. Adding a bunch of little flowers over here just to kind of give a little bit of an illusion of a lazy flower bed. And some rocks too. I love those rocks. Those are debugs. Those are also free. Really nice option. And you can like size them up, size them down. They look really nice. Here's that patio table set I was talking about. So these are, as you see, they're not snapping to anything. They're just debug items, so they don't matter. Just pretend like they're not there. They just look really cool. So I kept them there, and what I would do if I was playing this scenario is, as she got more money, I would sell the debug things and exchange them for the real items, like a real patio table and chairs. Maybe when she has people over, they can go outside and eat the food that she's cooking for them, or if she has, if there are people in the park, they can sit there. I think that would be nice. But these are all debug benches, lampposts, trash cans, and the mailboxes that are up there. Well, they're not mailboxes, they're newspaper boxes. They're up there as well. Those are debug, and the fire hydrant, all debug. But I thought it made the space look like it blended in a little bit more. And then over here, I added a little garden for some like farm to table action maybe that she wanted to get into. And I just used terrain paint for this because, as you can see, we have 45 whole simoleons left, and I did want to make sure that we had everything we needed. After I did the outside decorating a little bit, I did end up going back inside, making sure we had an indoor bin so that I didn't forget that this time. I already knew we had a mailbox, so that was good, and we had an outdoor bin. And then after I was sure we had everything we needed, I came back out and I made sure that I fixed up this little garden area to be exactly what I wanted. So I just continued with more of this debug fencing and more terrain paint to just kind of blend this in just a teeny tiny bit more. And then into my trusty little friend, the debug menu, I dug out some gardening bits and pieces and the trellis archway thing here. I like that a lot. I've used that a few times. I think I used that recently in another build, not in the scenario homes build, but in the one right before I started the scenarios builds. Really like that little arch. And this little pile of dirt I thought was really cool to place in the corner. I also put one little mound under the tree there, even though you can't really see it. I just think it looks cool even from far away, like the tree has mounded dirt around it. Little bucket next to this little patch of what looks like turnips or maybe onions. And then we are getting into our home here, and it is lovely. What a beautiful day. Now, because it's debug, the trees kind of cut away, which is actually nice. You can see the garden space, and we are just admiring the home itself while our sim is sleeping, because when I got onto this slide, it was actually very late at night for some reason, and she was tired, so she decided to take a little snooze, and I just waited until morning, and here we are. So I was very excited. Oh, and then I saw Mr. Caleb trying to sneak up here, so I sneakily used some MC Command Center, got him to just leave the lot. Oh, figures. That never happens to me, but as soon as I'm trying to do something like this, he would happen to pop up. It's just the way it is. So here is our little kitchen again, very cute. I have some pampas grass there in the corner for a little added decoration. There's nothing on the countertops, there's nothing in the cabinets. Oh, I feel so bad. But eventually you will get to decorate. I think this is just a nice little start to how things are going to go, and I love those shades. I don't get to use those very often either because I use smaller windows, but those shades are so cute. So I'm going to have her make some fruit salad, some non-fire inducing breakfast after she put that bar back in her inventory. See, now there's so much space here for entertaining. You could even like have some chairs in her household inventory that you pull out to watch, you know, TV with her friends, or to maybe even a dining table you can pull out, or a games table. Either way. And then what I did was I just clicked on the computer. I got her career, and I was just trying to get her all set up to see if, you know, if later on down the line maybe I want to play this in my free time, because that's kind of what I've been thinking about doing recently when I have a little bit of time that I don't feel like building or don't want to build, and I can just play a little bit. That's what I do. So I think this one came out super cute, very functional, very minimal, but I think that it's a great way to start out this scenario. So I hope that you enjoyed it, and you can let me know if there's any other scenarios, even that other than the 2 that are on the list currently in my description box. If there's any other ones you want to see, please let me know, because I'm open to suggestions. I'm running out of my little list I've made up, so I might look back through them again and see if any other ones spark my attention. Maybe even one of the scenarios that already has a pre-made family for it. If that's a cool idea, I would be open to. But here we are, just taking one last little peek at the house while our sim eats and gets cleaned up. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you want to see more, and leave a comment on what you want to see next, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!